Good morning. Welcome to Lazy Mini Painting. I'm Laz, your barely awake host for this morning. And today we have Combat Patrol issue number 52. But before that starts, I've got to log in on my phone. So, all you wonderful people on portrait mode, I can talk to you as well. There we go. I have to wait for an email. It won't let me click on it for some strange, bizarre reason. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I haven't got a clue why. But if I click on it through the email, it sends me. We'll do it that way. Because it's awkward. Hope everybody's well today. Last clicky of buttons. Hope. And now let's put my phone there so I can silence it. There we go. Okay, move back. Cable ties. And we have issue 52, which is a Kahl. I'll open the magazine so we're not getting shiny. And we're doing a noisy bit. And I have, as per usual, on Combat Patrol Day, I have only just woke up with enough time to go and get the magazine, come back home, and start the live stream. Why do I do this to myself? I don't know. But I do. Today is Kahl. Now, he's my first ever Leagues of Votan model. Never had one before. But looking at it, because we do have a model, and we do have a base, I'm going to need snips and glue. Hopefully one of these is going to work to clear the nozzle of this thing. So a quick nozzle clearer. Good morning, Twisted. I hope you had lovely food last night. It worked that time, but it won't work this time. Great. I'm just going to go get another nozzle clearer, also known as a lighter. We'll be back in one moment. I like the look of it. I've not put it together yet, Twisted. So hopefully I'll like the Kahl model as well. But we shall find out in a moment. I do need to clear my nozzle. Sounds wrong, doesn't it? But I need to do it. Go get my other lighter. Have a lighter. We have a lighter. No, this isn't the official way to clear the nozzle. Effective way that I've found. Burn all the glue out at the end. So we have a lighter. Do we have my snips? Have my snips, or at least a pair of snips somewhere. There we go. We've got the Games Workshop snips. Not the best in the world. Oh, I wish I could have. A few hours sleep is pretty much all I've had so far. Yeah, I didn't actually get to sleep till about 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning. To a very gentle wake-up call from Sparkles to tell me that it's time for me to get up and go to the shop. So let's give it a start, shall we? Issue 52. We have build, we have paint, we have read, we have collect, we have play, we have everything to cover in this. So we'll start with the build. So section 1 here. First of all, it wants us to clip out parts 4, 5, and 6 to make up its main torso here. 4 being his front, 5 and 6 being his legs. Oh, that's not good, man. It's all you can get is a few hours each night. I mean, make sure you get them if you can, especially if you're struggling. Not a good thing, really, is it? Not getting a lot of sleep. I'm barely able to function at the moment. I know you're supposed to not be hungry, not be tired, and you're supposed to be hydrated before you start doing any of this. So, yeah, I've managed to hit all three. I'm hungry, tired, and dehydrated. It's a great day to start the day with a brand new model of a faction that I have never collected. I'm not entirely sure I will collect, to be quite honest. This might be one of the few combat patrols when the question of, if you would you be willing to sell any of these? The answer may become yes. But I'll have to find out once I've got the actual models. All of them. All the Leagues of Votan. So we take section 4, which is the front of his body here. I realise my camera's not as zoomed in as it usually is. So the front of his body will look like this. Nice little layered up paints. Plates. I need to learn how to talk, mate. Learn how to talk. And then his two legs are pretty obvious what they are. They're the ones with the feet attached. Sounds a little bit patronising saying it that way, but it is. It's the one with the feet attached. Need to make sure that we get the right foot connected to the right leg. So we do a bit of dry fitting first. And try and figure out why it's not dry fitting. Right, there we go. Right, okay. It will dry fit. It does go together. It's just kind of set back a little bit, which makes me think something else is going to cover up the top part of his leg up here. But it's kind of dropping behind his armour. That doesn't look right. But that's how it fits. So that's how we're going to... I've just cleared this now. There we go. I did clear it and it is working now. That bit into place. That's leg number 1 on. Just really love the Votan aesthetic. The figures are nice sculpted. Vehicles are really cool. I'm a bit... Yes, I like the aesthetic because it's pretty much just small, fat Space Marines. I like Space Marines. That helps with that one. But I'm not completely sold on them yet. Leagues of Votan is that one army that I'm not completely sold on at the moment. I would have preferred them to have made squats properly. Put them as a unit of Imperial Guard. All snipers. And that hopefully would have helped. Good morning, Paul. Good morning. Thank you for coming to join us. I'm just going to turn that volume down because I think it is picked up off my microphone. I'll try and make sure I've got everything turned down that I can, including my headphones that are next to me because they can get picked up as well. So I hope everybody's okay this morning. Twisted, Paul, and anybody else who's watching. Hope you're all doing alright. If you have found me through a shorts flick and you want to watch it on a slightly wider view, I do have it running in both vertical and portrait. So if you want to pop from one to the other, that is perfectly fine. I mean, you can, if you're on portrait and you wish to stay on portrait, that's okay as well. I do have my phone here specifically for that reason. Don't force anyone to go over to the other one if they don't wish. Means I've actually got to do some bloody work for a change. By paying attention to more than 2 things. 2 things being the models and my usual chat. And then now I've got my other chat, which is my portrait chat. It's getting confusing for me, to say the least, but I'm slowly getting used to it. I am. So there's the Kahl model with his legs on. And they have met up at the back. It looks like he's got a very nice seam down his arse. Can I say arse? Yes, I can. It's 10 minutes in. See, I preferred the old Imperial squats as well, Twisted. They just... That's what I was hoping we was going to get when the original rumours started flying around. I was hoping we was going to get the proper squats and not an entire separate faction. But hey ho, we got a new faction. We've done 4, 5, and 6 now. There. And now we're moving on to 7, which is the cloaked section here at the back. I've already clipped that out. And then this is the bit that covers over his back. So again, glue, the glue, the glue, glue. And with the top of his legs, around where his arm sockets would go, a little bit around the rim of his neck. That should mean this slots on very nicely over the back there. Ah, perfect. Can't really go wrong with that, can you? Standing up almost by himself as well. Almost. Tongue, good morning. Good morning. How are you? I hope you're having a good day as well. Between you, Paul, and Twisted, you'll watch me build my first ever Leagues of Votan model. Which is, say, going to be an interesting little experiment, because with it being my first ever, I'm not entirely sure how these go. Well, I am reasonably sure how they go together, it's just that I've never done one before. Mistakes may be made. I'm hoping not. I'm really hoping not. So then we need section 8. And that, looking at him, so if you've got him facing you like so, zoom back in again, so we can get a better shot of it. So if you zoom in here, section 8 is this little bit of what I can only describe as more flappy cloak. Gets attached. How on earth does this? Alright, so this is supposed to go here? Doesn't look right. That does not look right at all, does it? Let me just skip forward a page to see if they are supposed to meet up. Yes, they are supposed to meet up. Right. Okay, I've just got to do a little bit of trimming and a little bit of shaving of the nub bits. Steve! Morning, mate. That was a bit of overexcitement, that one. There is a reason that I'm quite excited that you've come in today. Because you have done one of the most wondrous pieces of just scenery building that needs to be recreated, if not seen by multiple people. So if you could, and you wouldn't mind, would you send me a picture of the Arc stage? And then either put it up in my Discord or send it direct to me. Either way. I would like people to see that. That is an absolute masterpiece. That better not be what I think it is. Yeah, it was. Fucking look. So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so you can't see me mess this up. Let's face it, on fresh models like this where I've not got much practice or experience, I've got a good chance of messing it up. So at least I know roughly where it goes now. And I know it can join pretty snugly. Gotta be careful with it. So there we go. We do have a full cloak now. And the side piece on him. And then we'll clip out part 9, which is his backpack. Oh, this is fun. Ivan! Other series miniatures. I mean, I've done some Age of Sigmar. I have the Magical World of Sparkles and Oak, which is quite a few D&D style models, but they're all animals, or bugs, or creatures. None of them are human. There isn't a single human in the Magical World of Sparkles and Oak. Latest one I've started is the bat, and before that, I believe. Yeah, I believe it was. Was it Chester? Was the last one? I'll go grab a look. Should be close by. There we go. We have Chester, who is a caterpillar with nothing to do with combat patrol at all. This, but Ivan's asked if I paint other stuff. But yeah, I have D&D miniatures that I paint up myself for my partner's D&D. And she has lots and lots of characters from now. I've also done the Steamforged games Cats and Catacombs as well. But no, I do other stuff as well as 40k. I don't play any other specific games. Yeah, that little pink caterpillar thing is called Chester. I don't name these. Either some of you name them, or if I'm in a Discord chat and people are showing interest and want to know, sometimes give them the option to name them if they've not already been named. In the case of Chester, it was named by a lady who does professional photography. Please don't ask how I ended up talking to this lady who does professional photography. She lives quite literally on the other side of the freaking planet from me. So just time constraints and things like that just should not have worked. But for one brief night, we spoke. They asked, and they got to name Chester. Well, it wasn't they got to name it, it's more of they blurted it out without even meaning to. Because, well, as they said, Chester is just what screamed at them. Right, okay. If that's the name that screams out at you when you saw it, let's go with that. So we did. Well, I did, and I informed Sparkles afterwards that it had been named. Now, they did not help me make a class, so I'm not sure what kind of caster they're going to be. They might be a half caster, they might be a full caster. I'm not entirely sure. But we will find out. Now, looking at this little chappy, he has 2 choices for range weapon and about 3 choices for melee weapons. I will be going for the big power fist. D&D is pretty cool. The mimics are so iconic. They are. I do want. What's it called? It was right here. Multiple tentacled eyed things floats in the air. What's it called? It's called a. Right, I'm going to carry on while I think about what the ridiculous little thing's called. I am D. I am working. I'm working well. I'm working as well as I can in a barely conscious state. And I've just got a new model, which puts me another one behind you. But this one's my first Votan model, so it's a Kahl for the Votan I've got today. Now, he's going to tell me how to paint it, and that means I'm going to have to go find paints probably. I'm not looking forward to finding the right paints, that is. Finding the right paint. So, we're going to go for the Volkite pistol, which is the one it tells us for, which is number 17. I'll just cut that out there from this section. And we want number 11, which is the arm that the Volkite will go attached to. Which is right next to it, luckily. Right next to it. Ah, don't drop it like... If I drop it now, I have a rough idea where to look. Because it'll hopefully gone in the same place as the arc leg that I found yesterday. So by the looks of it, his arm's going to go on somewhat like this. I say somewhat like this. I don't even have it zoomed in. Well, this isn't a case of buying it because nothing appeals to me. I've got lots of stuff that appeals to me. It's just, well, Wednesday the next issue of Combat Patrol comes out. And every Wednesday it comes out whether I want it to or not. And now that I've started this series, I'm going to finish it. God damn it, I'm going to finish this series now that I've started it. Now, I've glued his arm on before I glued his gun on because I'm an absolute idiot. Now I'm going to glue his gun on. And it is a very, very small connection point for his gun, so be extra careful that you're actually lining this up right. There is a little wire that will help you guide to where it needs to be. And it will take a little bit of holding this because there's not much of a connection. It is literally his wrist. No worries, Twisted. I am well ahead of you on this one. I have my morning coffee already done. Did that while the stream was setting up. See, I can multitask sometimes. When it involves models and coffee, I can multitask. So now we have the Kahl with a Volkite pistol and a cloak and a backpack. He doesn't have a head or another arm yet. So let's solve that problem. You've got some weird colours on you, mate. You've got some weird colours on you. Have I got a lot of them out? I saw Avalon Sunset. No, that's Xandri Dust. I also saw... What else did I see? I saw Catachan Flesh, which I do not have. I do have Ryan Oxide, though. Mephisto Med, Retributor Armor, Lead Belcher, Screamer Pink, Rakath Flesh. And shit, right. Okay, so we're going to have a fair bit of painting to do today. I've got a feeling the Kahl's painting, or the entire Leagues of Votan painting, will be put over to the models and musings. Good morning, Ali. Good morning. Not a problem if you can't stay and you've got to head out. Off you go. Go get your stuff done. You know what you need to do much better than I do. Have fun. Hopefully you'll have fun while you're doing it. So in this case, it is telling us, yes, we need to attach the mass gauntlet, which is essentially a great big whopping power fist. I like power. That sounded wrong. Oh, you're hoping to be on 410 by the end of September. Well, that'll put you 500 well within reach. And more, I should imagine. I think you'll beat 500 this year. If you do, that is awesome. So now this is a small little wire section, which is number 10. Now this is supposed to go from the front of him to the back of him. So you need to make sure it is nicely cleaned and clipped. Otherwise they just won't go where they need to go. You're going to have an extra bit of plastic that's sticking out. Not working. Well, it is, but it isn't. So where is this supposed to go? Okay, so there's a tiny little... If you look round his neck, there's a tiny little dot. So zoom in, you can actually see. So if you look in here, there's just a little dot there, and there is a point here on the back of the backpack where the other end of it is going to go. So that's where we need to pop glue. Go there first, and on the backpack second. And then as you look at number 10, it will have a thicker little bit here that goes towards the back. And once they're lined up, they should go in along here. See that nice little wire? Chat to you tomorrow evening, Ali. You enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, please don't refer to... no, I hate the Neville Brothers Codex. I do. Especially Gary as well. I mean, Phil's just boring. Gary's a prick. Although I am a Man U fan, so... But thanks for coming in and joining us. How are you doing? Although, I can see why you thought I might have been Gary Neville. Both from Manchester. Just that I'm far better looking. Even with all his money. So next we need the fist, which is 24 and 23. Now 24 is a couple of fingers and a thumb. You heard me right, a couple of fingers and a thumb. And 13 is the rest of the big power maul. Good morning, Beak. How you doing, mate? How you doing? Oh, you're a Liverpool fan. You're another Liverpool fan. Why is I always get the Liverpool fans? What is it with Scousers? No offense to the Codex. Obviously, I do get on with them. And we've got a captain as well who's Irish and a Liverpool fan. And we've got EB who's American and a Liverpool fan. So, yep, you're not alone. You will never walk alone, as you were quite rightly put in. Because, well, Liverpool fans pop up everywhere. As I'm beginning to notice. You have a lot of Liverpool fans that seem to follow me for some bizarre reason. Never quite got it. Never quite. Well, I don't have to get it. It's up to you. Your choices. That's the best way to see it. I'm just here to be sat in front of a camera making models. Trying not to cut my fingers off. That's what I'm doing. Also giving you someone talking to and someone for you to listen to if you're doing something. Now we've got a glue part on, which are his arms now, and he's supposed to be pointing. So there we go, he's pointing directly at you. See? Right up there. It does, Codex. It does. Shame I've not got one. Oh, I've been awake for an hour now. A whole hour. I've not had my first coffee yet. Still drinking that. Okay, so the next pieces are choosing the head, which is going to be either 12 or 13. Why can't I do 14? It gives me a choice of 2 heads there and gives me a choice of 3 heads there. Awesome planning once again from Hachette Partworks. I'm making it now as I'm live. I may give it the black base coat while I'm live also. And while that dries, I'll go through the reading sections. And if I've not took too long, then I'll come back and do the painting as well. If not, what I'll do is I'll paint them on my Monday streams, which is Models and Musings, where I paint the majority of my Warhammer stuff, in fairness. I believe Monday I was going through the Khorne Berserkers. It's got at least one more stream painting the Khorne Berserkers. Sorry, leave him out there to put his shoulder pad on. But his shoulder pad is now on his arm. Zoom out a little bit. You've been awake for 4 days. In fairness, I didn't get to sleep till like 5 o'clock this morning. I really struggled sleeping last night. So, although, yes, I've been awake for an hour, I've also not slept for anywhere near the length of time that I should have. Now, looking at the heads, 12 is the helmet, even though they've all got faces. If that doesn't make sense to me. But 12 is the helmet. So that's the one I'm going for, because I don't do skin tones. As I found out when I did the Kahl Custode proxy, my skin tones come out very chalky. Very, very chalky. So, spot of glue in his neck. Move up there a bit so people can see. Spot of glue in the neck there. Get the head in the right orientation so he's actually looking. And then pop that in. If he's pointing, get him at least try to look in the direction that he's pointing in. If his head will go that way. If it won't, then we just whinge and bitch at him for being a little fucker. Such foul language, I know, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. He is a little fucker. And he's got a stupid little whoosh head thing. Which is number 16. Right there. See that? That coming right up over the back of his head. Why we've got to put his head in first, because once we've got this in, it won't fucking fit. Ah, dearie me. So it's a dragon with a little spot here at the bottom to glue it. Of course they chose the smallest piece. Of course. Why couldn't they have a nice bit with a dimple? You know, something that'll just sit nicely. But no. No. Where's this actually? This glues onto backpack. Approximately there. Ish. So that now stands over his head. Pop you there for a second while we look at the next piece, which is the tactical rock. Of course it's the tactical. Oh, they've got him looking over there rather than looking where he's pointing. I've got him looking where he's pointing. Maybe I shouldn't have. Bit late now. Why have they given me? What's this bit all about? That looks like it could be part of his backpack. That looks like a better one for his backpack than the one that I've put on. Is there a difference? I mean, in stat wise, is it a different character? Hmm, that's confusing me that now. Alright, so let's move on to his tactical rock. It's number 1 and number 2 first. Number 1 being the biggest bit. With dimples and places for his feet to go. Very, very blatantly places for his feet to go because it's got the lines in it here. Little flat areas. See? Ooh, you're working on your Ultramarines captain, and that's. Didn't you get a limited edition captain, Twisted? I think I remember you telling me you got a limited edition captain, and I'm not in Discord at the moment to go double check works in progress. Which is bad of me, I know. I know. Should really have that open so things can be checked up on. Ah, so you think it's just a different look for him? In which case, I'll stick with the dragon. The dragon head. Well, it's on now. I don't want to go ripping models apart just because I want to see what the other one looks like and see if it's slightly better. I'll leave it. Don't want to go messing things up. First time ever doing them. So this is gonna go under which piece? That's the front. I got it upside down? I may have it upside down. I think I did. Yeah, I've just got to shave off a little bit of sprue. But yes, it is one of the limited edition models. Kind of like the store anniversary model or one of those. Because I know I've seen it. it's just trying to remember. You know what my memory's like. It's like a colander. So gluing down the edges of the rock face. That way we can whap it on. Good morning, rabbit. I could have done with you till the night, rabbit. I really could. I kept dropping out of shot. Have I just glued the wrong fucking side? I've just tried to glue it down on the wrong side, haven't I? After just dry fitting it and getting it lined up, I go and get it on the wrong one. There we go. That's better. So now we have his tactical rock. It's alright, rabbit, don't worry. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Hope kitty cats aren't destroying too much of your house. Or emptying all your boxes for them to play in. Or stealing things from places they shouldn't. Because I do know your kitty cat enjoy taking one or two of the things that is not allowed. Turns into bad kitty for a moment. It's not a bad kitty, it just has occasional bad kitty. Now to try and figure out how this bit goes in on here. So once again, make sure you get rid of all the nubbly bits because this is a very flush fit. A very flush fit. Oh, it's the one you're doing for the fund. You know, I know you only told me yesterday, but it did slip out my mind that it is the one for the fundraiser. Uh, Chernobog. The Berserk Combat Patrol. The World Eaters aren't out yet. They're not. They're the last army. In fact, they're the last Combat Patrol. So I don't actually have any Berserkers from Combat Patrol. What I did was I took the Legionaries that we got from the standard Chaos Marines, and I just used those, give them all chainswords and bolt pistols, and said, right, they're now Khal Berserkers. So I didn't actually get, we don't actually have the Berserkers yet. But they will be coming later on. Oh, this is the old one. This is the old one. So I get the Kahl. I'm not sure what comes next. I think it might actually be a paint issue next, and then from there it's more models. I will find out towards at the end of the video when I get to the very back page. I try and save some things for suspense. Not much, because I've been through the entire list about 20 times of everything we'll be getting. But that's a different matter. Okay, so we have his tactical rock, and we have his base. Put his tactical rock on his base, and then put him on his tactical rock. And then we have the Kahl glued and ready together. I shall have a look at whatever that is you've put in a little bit, Ali. Seen it pop up for Discord. For anyone who is new, I do have a Discord. It is completely free. Oi, mate. How do you, Graham? We do have a resin dealer who has just popped himself into the chat over on the big screen rather than. So, yeah, he's up there now. 28 more issues, and I can buy a unit from you every week instead. Don't say that, because you've got Space Dwarves on there, and I've just started getting Votan. Don't start giving me plans like that now. Don't. But 28 more weeks. Nope, that's still too soon. It's gonna be 50, possibly 60 weeks I've got left. And then I should walking down the aisle. Well, I won't be walking down the aisle. I'll already be down there. It'll be Sparkles who's walking around the aisle. Oh right, yeah. I'll find that out. I'll find that out. Don't know. I will. As I said, I've not done Votan before. I've done most other factions, but I've never done any Votan. So this will be a learning curve for me. Hopefully not too steep. Right, so he wants us to base coat him first with black. But once I do that, I've got to wait for the fucking thing to dry. So, get one of my very well used palettes out. I'm not using a wet palette for the base coat because you don't need to really. But when it comes to the actual painting, I will set my wet palette up so I can paint it, depending how long it takes me to get through the rest of this magazine. I need a bad and black, which is that there behind him. Give it a shake. Always give it a shake. Make sure you mix it all up. So I'm going to get Chthonian Berserkers. This makes me think I'm going to end up kit bashing stuff rather than building things. Which is the problem with what I've been doing so far with all the Combat Patrol magazines. Because so far, They've all been armies that I've either got or intended to work towards. I've not followed any of the painting instructions. Why would I when I have my own paint schemes for them? But with this one I've never had. I had no intention of getting. I'm still in half of mind whether or not I should keep them or move them on, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with the Leagues of Votann, in all honesty. I do know one thing though, I am going to base coat him today. Now, I will also do my usual setup for him once he's dry, and that usually involves a dry brush over the top. Think of it more like a slap chop setup, but I don't use the slap chop painting method. It just helps me to see where all the highlights and lowlights and shading needs to be. Just helps in general when painting him. I do that on all models. All of them. Every single bloody one. Not a... Rabbit, did you move over? You did. You moved on me. I was looking down here for you and you've just popped up here. That's just messing with my head, and it's too early in the morning for doing that. The medication's not worn off yet. Oh dear. But you have a good day. Thank you for calling in. I hope you're not the last moderator to leave. I hope I still have somebody in. Somewhere, please. I know Ali's gone. Steve, as far as I'm aware, is still here, so yeah. It's always good to have an angry little scouser. And if you can't get an angry little scouser, then get DF instead. Next best thing. Well, he probably says the same about me. Always good to have a mank around. If you can't get one of them, go get lads. At least he'll talk the fuckers to death. That was probably the worst Liverpoolian accent anyone's ever heard. Sorry for anyone who heard that. It wasn't meant to be disrespectful, it's supposed to be endearing. Do you like Liverpool? Numerous times I've even spent the night and didn't get into any fights. Mainly because it didn't go very far. Are you free to abuse me as long as it's not physically? I don't fancy you turning up at my door with extra large marigolds on, Graham. Thank you very much. Some strange, weird doctor's mask snapping it at your wrist saying it's damn for prostate. No, thank you. If it's verbally, then go right ahead, but you will get it back. Why not? Wrong colour rose and everything for you. Different wrong side at Pennines. Penny Yorkshireman. I love you, Graham, you know that. There's lots of probably take the piss out of me for. I'm not gonna lie. There is loads of things you could take the piss out of me for. My accent, my inability to talk sometimes. Not that I can't go anywhere on my own. And all of them will be true. There's not much I can say about them. There's stuff you can say that's not true. In that case, I probably would get a little bit more miffed, depending on the level of not trueness. Things. Beautiful white rose, unsullied, pure, not real, fake. Roses are red with thorns. They're supposed to make you bleed. White ones just means, oh, we're too soft, don't want. Red rose. Roses are red, violets are blue. I live in Lancashire, you should too. For anyone who's wondering what me and Graham are arguing about, I live on the west side of the Pennines, he lives on the east side of the Pennines, and anyone who's aware of the War of the Roses will know that we're both on, one's on one side and one's on the other of that warring line. Now, it ended ages ago. Ages. None of us were alive at that point. But it is still a running joke between us. So. In case you were wondering, I don't hold any animosity towards this. It is just a joke. But if you are in the white rose section, then you need to move. Wrong part. Saying that, I do know a few people in the white rose section as well as in the red rose. Who lives in Shoebox in Middle Road? I don't live in Shoebox in Middle Road. I live in Shoebox at Side Road. Oh God, my accent was coming out then. Beaky was getting my accent to come out. I do my best to try and hide that part of my accent. People automatically think I'm from somewhere else nearby me whenever I do it. And I'm certainly not from there. They can go right off if they think I'm from there. Sorry, Mooch. You're in as well, but yeah, I don't like having that accent pop out. I did spend a little bit of time living there, which is why it does sometimes come out. Enough time that it ingrained itself into how I talked for a while. And D is acting as peacekeeper. I've lived in both. They're both shit. We know, D. We know. And I've been over to Yorkshire I'll say many times, enough times now. I went over to see Mick T. I've been over and met up with Graham, Dave, briefly met up with Dave. I spent more time chatting with Graham in the cafe when we were supposed to meet up and go take a coffee to him. Instead, we just sat in the cafe. But most of my plans for that day went west. As you usually do when you get a nice new model. That was a very bad joke, Graham. The highest motorway in the country, somewhere in between. Although it possibly is, actually. Because it does cross over the top of the Pennines, doesn't it? And they don't have anything going up most of the other mountains. Go round the rest of them, because they're smart like that. Just us, not so much. What you gonna do? See that big hill? Gonna go over that. Do you not think it would be a better idea to go through it or around it? Nah. Crow flies, straight over. Built the motorway straight over the bloody mountain. Which it technically is, I think. More technically than visually. Base coating. And I can't use my airbrush because people are asleep. Sparkles was up really early this morning. I'm about to catch some well-deserved rest. Very well-deserved rest. This is the first day back at school for all the children. All of them. Somebody else answer all the never-ending questions now. I'll just do the fun stuff. Like playing Pokemon cards. Or Magic the Gathering, as I now have some cards for that. I just need some islands, I think. So I have blue mana. At the moment we're using just Pokemon water energy for islands. Which doesn't work too well if you don't have them in a sleeve of some kind, because you can kind of tell which ones are which. Oh, you popped in as well. Did you meet him at the Cave of Wonders, or did you meet him outside like normal people? Graham took me to the Cave of Wonders, and I very firmly got told no. As soon as we got in there, I'm not buying everything I see. Because it was tempting. But all them retro consoles, all those games, all those models, all those... Oh... Yeah, the shop that he part-time works in is dangerous. It is dangerous. Well reminded, Busted. Thank you. Oh, so you bumped into him in Travelling Man. Right, so you didn't get to find the Cave of Wonders. Is kind of the other side of York Centre. Near some strange little street. And lots of lights and traffic. And the dinkiest little cafe I have ever seen in my life that I didn't even know it was there unless Graham had said something and gone, I'll meet you there. It's like, where's that? That doesn't even exist. That is quite literally a hole in the wall, and then you go in and you find out there's actually a cafe there. I thought it was just a hole in one of the gates. Or one of the bars. I think they're called bars. The gate's in the big old York wall. It was near one of them. I should say, actually in one of them. I think I walked past it about 9 times before I realised where it was. Luckily, I got there early because I don't like not knowing where somewhere is, especially if I'm due to be there for a specific time. To meet someone, I don't like being late. Not when somebody else is relying on me. If it's just me, then I don't give two fucks. But if somebody else is going to be there and is expecting to meet at X time, then I like to. But I've got a feeling we may be going back to York again at some point. No, we will be going back to York again at some point. I'm just not sure when. That is true. That is true, D. No, it seems to have become, if not a bi-yearly thing, then at least that's where me and Sparkles go to get our break. I do like York. Nice city. Hopefully this time it's not going to rain on me. So if we do plan, then definitely we are arranging something between me, you, Graham, Dave if he wants to, a few other people. Good morning, that was just that was just okay. Yeah. So they're called bars from the old. Wait a minute, Graham. The gates and the walls are called bars because of the old French word barra, which meant barrier or barrier. Okay, I didn't know that. I did not know that. I learn something new every day, and today something useless. I'm never gonna remember it. You're gonna ask me next time you see me. He's like, and why are the gates called bars? Because people get drunk in them, and then you're gonna throw something across the room and go, "No, you blithering Mancunian." And you D and Dave, and I'll team up on me while Sparkle sits there and laughs. Call you all pint-sized, just for the joke on the word bar. So we have a primed Kahl. One primed Leagues of Votann Kahl model. How good is that, eh? I'm going to have to leave him to dry before I can carry on with the rest of the painting. So I shall come back to the painting when I need to get all the paints out when I need to. Scrag brown, that's the wrong brown as well. I think I've got every color, every shade of brown out that I don't need. So I am gonna need Avalon Sunset, Catachan Flesh. It says Corax White, but I'm gonna look for my my Pro Acryl White. So instead of Corax White, I'm gonna go with Pro Acryl, just because I prefer that white. It goes on better. Is this just a Yorkshireman's meetup now? It's gone from a Liverpoolian meetup to a Yorkshireman. I feel outnumbered. Francois, just say you're from Manchester, so I feel better, please. Teaming up on me. Hanging up on me. No. I'm right. I'm joking. Oh, sugar. Those boxes. Let's look for the. We need an Avalon Sunset. Flash yellow. Oh, I've got an Avalon Sunset somewhere. Does he give it you with? I know that because if they give you with a magazine, then you should have one. And at this point, they generally don't tell you to use paints they not give you, which is why the Kahls will probably get completely, or the Leagues of Votann will get quite well painted. This is the wrong box. This is the one with my Leho. P3 speed paints. So that's the wrong. Avalon's on the tray. Now it's the weird mustardy yellow. I'm pretty sure I left that out. I mean, I do have the Zamesi Desert, which is not as orange. No vassalhood for you. No worries, Francois. No worries. Because I can't find my Avalon Sunset, I may have to go with Zamesi's Desert. Oh well. So I've got the white, I've got the yellow, I've got the black. I need Catachan. Oud. Sandry Dust. Cadian Flesh Tone. Or a Bad and Black. Why can I not find Catachan Flesh? Okay, I'm just gonna Yeah, I used to work in Puck. Town is up its own butt. You're not supposed to put pucks up your butt. Not the correct place for them. Chan flesh. Stratum grey, iron oxide, black. But it's definitely not on my desk. Definitely. Rackarth flesh. Nope, it's definitely cat. Oh, it's definitely Catachan. Burgundy. Ballard brown. Right, I'm gonna make a bit of my own colour schemes up here, yeah, because I'm the actual. Oh, it helps you. I don't know something. If I weren't such a dickhead, I'd actually think, wouldn't I? And go, remember them big cases that you've got, lads? Well, if you bother your ass looking in there, you might find some of them. Caro orange. Another Furiel yellow. That is Avalon Sunset. So, Avalon Sunset, which is not too far off, actually. I might use that as a highlight colour. Who knows? I don't. I certainly don't. That's blues, yellows, greens, reds. That's a Tuskor fur. What the fuck's a Tuskor? What is a Tuskor? Tuskor. God damn it, I can't even enunciate today. Come on, wake up, lads, wake up. Pretend that you at least half a clue. Yes, it is. Good pretend. Because I don't actually know what I'm doing. Harding's side. Right. What's Greg Brown again? Something brown. Monfang Brown. Doombull Brown. Of course, that's Steel Legion Drab. What's this? Gothor Brown. Like Kahl like ochre. Every other fucking shade apart from the one that I want. It's an OTGE mammoth. I don't know what OTG. My brain's not functioning, Francois, as per usual. I hate my medications for this purpose. It stops my head working. Especially early in the mornings or late at night, which is when I seem to dream. Right, have I got anything that's going to highlight Ryan Oxhide? Anything that's a lighter shade so I can highlight or something Ryan Oxhide. That's too light. Not a problem, Graham. We'll catch you in a bit. Good luck on the phone call. Oh, Ogre. I hate typos. Even I can't read back what I've read sometimes. So it's not on that layer. Is it on? That's Bugman's Glow. Lots of blue, lots of gold. More green. Put that one up there. Glow. Two pots of Bugman's Glow. Hizzler Flesh. Is that another Avalon Sunset? No, that's an Ungor Flesh. Oh, how? So if we go for Ryan Oxide, isn't? Or if it is, I'm gonna have to Doombull. Nope. Nope. Why can't I have two colours that are nice and will highlight each other well and behave themselves for me when I've not even got to the painting stage yet? I just want to get the paints ready. Come on. Right, I'm going to go for Ryan Oxhide because I do like that colour. And I can't seem to find my Catachan Flesh, which will turn up as soon as I've done it. What else are we going to need? Mephiston Red, which I do definitely have out. Well, I have one there. Retributor Armor, which I should also have one out of. If not, I definitely somewhere. Find an open pot. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Hide not. Open. Oh, that one. That was. Aha! We have an open Retributor Armor. We also have Lead Belcher. Yep. And Screamer Pink, which should be back here actually. Yep. Screamer Pink and Raka. I've just seen Raka Flesh, haven't I? Kislev. What? More of a. Alright, white, don't want to be that even though should do. Going grey, nope. Drybrush, and pink. No. Ah, it may be on the other tray. It may be on the other tray. It's one of the lasses in. Oh, so you got someone coming over in Manchester on Saturday. Well, I hope they have a nice time. I do hope they have. Rack Flash, there we go. Yeah. So while he's drying, I've got the paints out ready to do that should I have enough time. I hope I will. Agrax Earth Shade, which I have out. Reichland Flesh Shade, which is there. Nuln Oil, which I should also have out. There's Nuln Oil. Where's Reichland Flesh Shade? A Fugan Orange. Reichland Flesh Shade. That's the Arthonian Camo Shade. Where's my Agrax gone? I will have an Agrax somewhere. So, right, I've got the paints ready, but I've still got to wait for him to dry, so, yay. Oh, crap. Mechanica Standard Grey. Stormhost Silver. Questor Night Flesh. Pallid Witch Flesh. Pallid Witch Flesh is there. Pink Horror. There. Calgar Blue, which is loads of it. That's my Crag Blue. But I do have Calgar Blue. I know I've got that is in there as well. Mechanica Standard Grey, Astro Granite, and then Oil. So they are going to take us right the way through this. So rather than start painting now, let's go through it and talk. So base coated black like I have done. There. Make them all black. From there, use Avalon Sunset to get in any fabric cloth sections. I will be using Avalon Sunset. I was going to use Zamzi Desert, but I'm not now because I found the actual colour. Korax white for the inside of his cloak and coat. Katachan flesh for his belt, for the leather part of his belt and the outside of his coat. This is just in case I don't get a chance to actually paint him on camera tonight, or today. Katachan flesh on the inside of his sheath as well, and his blade. Then Mephiston red for wiring coming down from the inside of his coat, and the little starry section in the middle of his chest. Starry section? It's a circle. Learn your shapes. It does help if I do that, doesn't it? And then gold. Retributor armor. They've painted the headpiece. So the little dragon bit that comes off the top of his head. Doing that's a good fucking symbol, isn't it? His helmet as well, if you've helmeted him, as opposed to putting a normal face on him. The Votan sign on his shoulder, which is quite difficult to see. And any other embellishments. So there are other little swirly bits on his shoulders, as well as the swirly bit in the front of his belt buckle. You're looking for all them little bits that stand out, as they will be on both shoulder pads, as you've seen. He's done one there, and they've not painted that one yet, but they have by the time they've got down to here. Then you paint his Volkite gun in lead belcher, along with the other cable and the backpack, or certain parts of the backpack. Screamer pink for the handle on his blade. And then Rakath flesh for the two panels on the outside of his coat. Once you've done those, you've got to brace yourself, because they're going to want you to paint your eyes blue. So if you don't have a microscopic bloody pin-sized paintbrush like this, you're going to be really careful with the brush that they give you. It will only be a standard. Now, you can still do it if you can get a point on it. If you've managed to keep the point on your Games Workshop brush, it will do the eyes, don't worry. If it's starting to curl, maybe something like a cocktail stick or something smaller. From there, they want you to Agrax Earthshade pretty much all the bleeding model. So that's the top of his armor, his gun, the panels on his cloak, and the underside where you've painted white. Reichland flesh shade, all the yellow areas that you've done with Avalon Sunset, and a little bit on the coils on his actual pistol here. Pardon me. Then you want to null all his armor and his darker leather coat. All the armor, because all the armor's black. Then once you've done the washing, you're going to come back in to do highlights over the parts that you want to bring up. Korax white, in this case, over the inside of his cloak. Mechanicus standard grey to do edge highlighting just around the bases of his armor. So the plates that he's got around him, you just a little touch around the edges. Stormhost silver is what you're going to use to highlight gold, and I know that sounds stupid, you're going to use silver to highlight gold, but it does work. And anywhere else that's metal, really, you're going to use Stormhost silver to just highlight. So his gun, the edges of his backpack where the silver is, and his, well, the little dimple studs that he has all over him. Then it's Questor Night Flesh to go over the raised areas of his outer cloak, and Pallid Witch Flesh to bring out the runes back on the two panels on his cloak, on his coat. Pink Horror you're going to use for highlighting the hilt of his dagger that he's got on his side, and Calgar Blue just to make those eyes pop a bit more. Now we have got Astro Granite. I remember them sending us that, or giving us that in one of the issues. So cover the base again in Astro Granite. Mechanica standard grey paint the whole base, and then no light will wash that. once you've done all those, because we all know it dries instantly, this paint, and you can just move from section to section because it won't interfere with each other, will it? No, will it? Fuck. Yeah, it will. Just go back in on the base and find out all the details. So any gun casings, do them appropriately, either retributor armor, brass, whatever colours you wish to use for your gun casing, for your bullet casings, and the wire that's in there as well be done lead belcher. Once you've finished, you should have something that looks like this chappy here. Now I know it's a bit difficult to see because I've not got the best lighting in the world, but it should look quite nice, especially if once you've got all the silver bits, obviously the lead belcher, and then highlight it again with Stormhost. It should be quite a nice little model. And once it has dried properly, and I've read through these, I will consider starting the painting. If not, I'll probably end up doing it on models and music. Bonds of Honor Part 13. Now, if you have been reading Bonds of Honor, as it says, Bonds of Honor Part 13, please read that section if you're collecting the magazine. As I said, I'm not reading through the stories. The stories I'll let you to enjoy yourselves, because you'll read them at your pace, you'll hear it in your own voices. It's just better to read a book or a story yourself. Dorito! No worries, man. You have a good day, and I'm sorry I couldn't be there for all the stream the other night. Congratulations to the winner. If people are wondering what on earth I'm talking about, Monday night, Luch Mob Garage do a members giveaway, and thanks to Daniel Arias from Arias in the Nation, I am now a member. So, yay! I got to be part of the giveaway. Didn't win, but I got to be part of it. So, once the story's read, what's next? It's going on to the Leagues of Votann characters. Again, we get to give I'm guessing this is the leader then, because we get to give him battle honors. It's on a D6 roll. Oh, I have a D6 to hand now, don't I? So if you roll a 1 or a 2, you are the Intrepid. If you roll a 3 or 4, you're a Foehammer. And if you roll a 5 or a 6, you are the Venerable. So let's see what ours is going to be. It is a 4. So ours is Foehammer. I like that because he's got his big concussion fit. This character is a ferocious warrior and is known for their formidable skill at arms by friend and enemy alike. That's what mine is. Yours could be the Intrepid. This character spent their early career on void ships far from home and grew used to the excitement of exploration. If you roll a 5 or a 6, you're the Venerable. This character is a great teacher, and they are sought after for their wisdom by many of the less experienced. Nope, mine's the one I'm going to punch you in the face. I like that. I can do that. Astral Granite is good, Twisted. You are right. I don't think I have any Sterling Battle Mire. I don't even know what that is. I'm guessing that's the mud version of Astral Granite. I'm just going to guess at that. I might be completely wrong. So, as we was choosing that name, I was supposed to have read some bits. The Kith are a species of clones, but are just as varied and individual as members of any other species. They're each given a name by the Votann, which will also adopt a second name of their own choosing. Those who are held in high esteem may be given a name by their comrades so that they can choose as their second name. Foehammer in this case. Kahl Foehammer. Okay. Grudges. So it's Sterling Battle Mire is just brown Astral Granite. And then I can understand why it's so good. So grudge rolls. Against each faction, We have Space Marines, Tyranids, Eldar, Chaos Space Marines, Orcs, Genestealer Cults, Astra Militarum, and World Eaters. Chaos doesn't so much matter for me, but could matter to you if you're sticking with the Combat Patrol format. So, Grudge Roll. On a 1, 2, or 3, we pick from it's this column. On a 4, 5, or 6, it's this column. So, Space Marines. 2. The Space Marines tore up a promising area that was due to be mined while they were on some futile religious mission. So that's why they hold a grudge against the Space Marines. Why are they holding a grudge against the Tyranids? 5. The Tyranids have seeded a whole system with their creatures and it can no longer be reliably exploited for resources. That's pretty bad. That's not good. Eldari? Why are they mad with the Eldari? 2. The Eldari are smug and impossible to negotiate with. Their arrogance and scheming often destabilizes trade talks. Sounds pretty spot on for the Eldari. Chaos Space Marines, even though I don't actually have any, just Chaos Space Marines. 1. Did turn up as a 1 there, see. It is a 1. Chaos Space Marines laid waste to a band of mercenaries who were contracted to fight alongside the Imperium. Okay, killed a lot of Votan, don't like them. Fair enough. No, you're right. Filthy knife ears. I do have them, but they are filthy knife ears. A 6. Okay, Orcs got a 6. The Orcs stole a void ship, and before it could be recovered, they completely ruined it by adding dubious improvements. That one just makes me laugh. Sorry, I've not read it before, but that's funny. That is Orcs down to the teeth. They looted it and they made it better. Gotta love the Orcs. Genestealer Cults. Why are we holding a grudge against Genestealer Cults? 2. Genestealer Cults destabilize an entire system, upsetting negotiations with the Imperium and damaging trade. Votans like their trade. They do like their trade. So don't look into trade up, especially with the Imperium. If the Imperium find out the clones and using AI, then they're going to come in and start kicking fuck out of them. And they don't want that. They have a nice relationship with you. Astra Militarum. What are the Astra Militarum up to? 6. The Astra Militarum. The Imperial Guard. Let's get it right. Decided to blow up a planet rather than fight the occupants completely, wasting its resources. That sounds about right for just the Imperium in general. Blow up the planet just because we can. And the World Eaters, which this one is relevant to me because all my Chaos Space Marines have been converted to World Eaters. All except for the Havocs. I have Havocs in World Eaters. I'm re-rolling that. That didn't do nothing. 2. The World Eaters slaughtered a pioneer fleet without provocation, wasting the resources they had gathered. So I have lots of grudges, most of it to do with trade relations. This is rather amusing coming from the guy who hoards pretty much every army he's got. To the point where I've still got some models from 1990. And now we get to the next part, which is the Kahl himself. At the forefront of most oath bands stands a Kahl. Each is an exemplary strategist and leader renowned for their martial prowess. They take to the field with the finest weaponry and technology their forges can, and their ability to assess enemy threats and identify their weaknesses make them formidable foe. Nice. So now we've got a roll for his actual given name. Just as I put my bloody dice away and it wants me to roll for again. This is really bad planning on my part, isn't it? Oh, really bad planning on theirs to put the 2 separate bits to name the damn guy not next to each other. Let's stick a bit in the middle. This dice feels good. I hope it's good. So he's either going to be Anyuk Narun, or Yma. One of the three. So, and Anyuk. This Kahl is quicker than most to hold a grudge and will stop at nothing to settle one. Narun. This Kahl is renowned for their exacting, efficient, and strategic decision making. And Yma. This warrior's ascent to the rank of Kahl has been swift and meteoric by all accounts. So let's see what he's called. Not that I'm going to remember. For he is Narun. So he's a good strategic decision maker. Apparently. I'm going to put that dice there this time just so it's not out. In case I need it in a minute. So now we have the Kahl's datasheet. Now we did get the little punch out card for quick reference. But I'll cover his combat patrol datasheet again. Now he's got a movement of 5 inches. Toughness of 5, which is not bad. Not bad at all. Save of 3+, and an invulnerable save of 4+, so it's going to be tough to get through his armour. 4 wounds, so he's not getting popped by one of your little 3 damage weapons that you'll pop Terminators with. Leadership 7, and an objective control of 1. Now, the weapons we've built him as standard, because I have actually built a model as standard for a change. He has his ranged weapon, which is his pistol, the Volkite Disintegrator. Oh, it's not a pistol, it's just Volkite Disintegrator. It doesn't have the pistol keyword. It does have the devastating wounds keyword, though, which is nice. Knocking out those, devastating wounds. They're not getting saves against it. Very useful. Now, I can't have Stumpy Dumpy and Stanky. You can go ahead and call yours Stumpy Dumpy and Stanky if you want. Stanky just does not sound good. No. Stanky just, I think he needs a bath. We're gonna kick out. Okay, let's get the headphones on and see if I can resolve this. Hello, 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 hello. No, it should be back now. My microphone is picking up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Thank you, Twisted. I'm gonna leave these on just to make sure. And if it drops again, then I'll hear it. So which bit did I miss? Did it get through the weapon? Ranged weapon? Or do I have to start the full data sheet again? I didn't do anything. I just opened up the notifications tab that's telling me that my CPU is going nuts. So, yeah, whatever. If it works, it works. I'm not arguing. But I don't remember where I'm up to. Or more, I don't remember where it dropped out. Did I get through the Volkite Disintegrator? Or did it not get that bit? Yeah, it is a bit weird. I'll go back through the Volkite Disintegrator. It has devastating wounds. So if you're rolling to wound and you get a 6, that's a mortal wound straight through. Range of 18 inches. 3 attacks. Hitting on a ballistic skill of 2+. So natural ones always fail. Anything else will hit. Strength 5. Really, you're plugging for those natural 6s. But a strength of a 5 isn't bad. No AP, which as far as I'm concerned sucks. Because it's a strength 5, at least a -1. Give it a -1 so you can help through the harder stuff. And 1 damage. Not a completely unusable weapon, but very swingy. Very swingy if you're trying to use it on something bigger or tougher. For his melee weapon, we have the Mass Gauntlet. Obviously, melee means you've got to be like right in the face to go bash. Again, 3 attacks. This time it's hitting on 3+, but with a strength of 8. So it's going to go through quite a lot of elite infantry. It should be easy enough. Obviously, low infantry, just grunts, he's got to splat. A -2 AP. Now that'll at least push even Terminators onto the invulnerable save. And a damage 3. Now it has no special rules like devastating wounds or anything like that. But as a stat line, it's pretty good. It'll kill a Terminator in 1 hit, providing it gets through the invulnerable save. And it'll certainly put a bit of a dent in any more elite-ish type units. And then just wipe its way through anything smaller. Not going to be as good against some of the big stuff, so I'm not throwing against like a Norn or a Hive Tyrant or a Carnifex. Anything like that, or a Dreadnought. Certainly not putting him up against the big fella here. That would just be a bad idea. Staved in. Oh well. And he also has a special rule, which is Grim Efficiency. Once per battle round in your command phase, you can select 1 enemy unit that is visible to this model. That enemy gets 1 judgment token. And if I remember rightly, you can only give 2 to a unit. And once you do, it makes a big difference. There we go. Judgment tokens down at the bottom. On the back cover, you will find judgment tokens, which are going to look like this. In your command phase, the Grim Efficiency rule allows your Kahl to give an enemy unit it can see 1 judgment token. Right. Try reading that sentence wholly. In your command phase, the Grim Efficiency rule allows your Kahl to give an enemy unit it can see 1 judgment token. For a maximum of 2. While an enemy has 1 judgment token, your Kahl can add 1 to hit rolls when targeting that unit. While an enemy has 2 tokens, you can add 1 to the hit roll and add 1 to the wound roll. Now that makes that Mass Gauntlet better. You're hitting on 2s, wounded on 2s and 3s. It 4s. I doubt you're going to get anything that you wounded on lower than that, or higher than that, sorry. Because that strength 8 will put most things to a 5+ if it's tougher than you. If it's tougher than you are strong, that is. Adding that +1 makes it a 4+. That does make him a punch a lot higher. No pun intended, because he's using fist. So that's a nice little rule. If you can get judgment tokens scattered around, that could be nice for the army. Next, we have Scenario 32, Bitter Judgment. As explosions racked the hull of the vessel, His Void Master surrendered to the inevitable. The ship would be lost. The crew crammed into the most secure part of the ship, where they had one final duty before their death: to commit their minds to the ship's legacy vault in the hopes that one day it will be discovered and returned to the Votan. Nothing was certain, but if the vault was recovered, a scan of the crew's mind during their final moments would be uploaded from the vault into the collective consciousness held within the the sacred artifact core. Note, didn't hear what. Oh, Twisted. Which bit didn't you hear? Which bit have I got to go back to? Is it the tokens bit? Or is it the start of this? That's not a good sign. I mean, I can hear myself in my ears. That's why I didn't think it had dropped. Oh, I got it all now. Excellent. Have some coffee to calm down. Right. Where was it? Upload from the vault into the collective consciousnesses held within the sacred ancestor core. No sooner were the crew's neural patterns recorded than the ship tore through the atmosphere of a nearby planet in a ball of flame before crashing into the surface. The remains of the ship were scattered far and wide, but by quirk of fate, the ship's Kahl survived the crash. He has emerged from the debris. He heard howls of approaching Orc looters and prepared himself to defend the precious legacy vault. To play Bitter Judgment, set up your battlefield on one map as shown on the overleaf. Then the players gather their armies. The Orc selects 4 units of 3 boys, dividing the weapons as they choose. The leader Votan player selects their Kahl. Units deploy in accordance with the deployment instructions below. Down here. Oh, you had Mr. Volkite stuff. Oh. Right, and I did recover that. Excellent. I'm getting all kerfuffled. So for deployment, the Leagues of Votan payer? Fuck's sake, I can't talk today. I can't talk most days, but today seems to be even worse. First, the Leagues of Votan player places the Kahl in the center of the board within 3 inches of the objective map. The Orc player rolls on the table overleaf to deploy their units one by one during their command phase, starting with their first command phase on the first turn. In this scenario, the Orc player takes the first turn. In this scenario, you may not take any enhancements or secondary objectives, and neither side is allowed to use any faction abilities or stratagem. Well, how the hell are you supposed to win then? The game lasts for 4 battle rounds. The Leagues of Votan player gains 1 victory point for each Orc model destroyed. The Orc player gains 12 victory points for destroying the Kahl. The 4th battle round, if a player controls a central objective during the command phase, they score 8 victory points. At the end of the 4th battle round, the player with the largest number of victory points is the winner. If both players have equal victory points, then the battle's a draw. I don't see how any of that is going to be a draw. You have to kill the Kahl, and then the Orcs win. Don't, then the Kahl's probably going to win. Considering he starts off right next to the fucking objective. So here's how we set the battlefield up. We have the Kahl in the middle. We have 4 pieces of terrain. And we have art deployment 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So use battle map 1. And for the reinforcement table, the Ars player deploys a new unit during the command phase of each of their turns. The table below shows which unit should be deployed in each turn. Follow the instructions to decide which deployment zone they should deploy into. So on turn 1 and each turn, the player rolls d6 and he gets 3 art boys. On a roll of a 1 to a 4, they deploy their arcs in the corresponding deployment zone. For example, if you roll a 2, then they go in zone 2. On a roll of a 5 or a 6, the arcs player can choose their preferred deployment zone. So each turn you roll, you're going to get 3 boys. You'll either get 1, 2, 3, or 4, or anywhere you want on the 4 deployment zone. A reminder for judgment tokens. When judgment tokens are allocated to units, attacking League of Votan models gain advantages when they try to hit and wound them. When an enemy unit has 1 judgment token, Leagues of Votan models add 1 to the hit rolls when targeting that unit. When they have 2 judgment tokens, League of Votan models add 1 to the wound roll and a hit roll. Awesome. Oh dear. Which one's claimed you today, Twisted? Which one's claimed you this morning? Is it Princess or is it... Judgment token tutorial. In this example, Kahl uses their Grim Efficiency ability to can't fucking talk. Right. He uses his ability to stick a token on a unit of 3 boys. The unit of 3 boys on the right is hidden behind a container, and the Kahl does not have a clear line of sight. Because there is no clear line of sight, he can't select them as a target. However, clearly right in front of him, which are these, there is another unit of 3 boys. So you can allocate it to them because there is nothing in the way and you can see them perfectly fine. In this example, the unit of 3 boys now have 1 judgment token. The Kahl moves in to attack. His Mass Gauntlet has a weapon skill of 3+. So the player would normally need to make a roll of 3 or higher to hit the boys. However, because of the adding 1 to the hit roll, the player only needs to roll a 2 in order for the attack to successfully hit the enemy. If the hit is successful, they will need to roll to wound, and this roll will be made as normal. In the last example, or second example, the unit of 3 arc boys has accrued an additional judgment token, and now has a total of 2. Once again, the Kahl attacks the unit with his Mass Gauntlet. The player can once again add 1 to their hit roll, meaning they're hitting on 2s again. And this time, because there are 2 judgment tokens, they can also add 1 to their wound roll. Normally the player would need to roll 3s to wound, but because they add 1, they get to wound on a 2. Which means those 3 arcs are probably going to get gone. Yeah. Oh, poor Kafra. Yes, Hawks, we are doing Votan. We have just got to the end of the mission. A magazine, even. And where it tells us, obviously, if it's a draw, neither side wins. If the Orcs win, then they loot everything that the Votan was protecting. And if the Kin victory, then the Votan was able to stomp out the Orcs. Fucking awesome. Let's hope for an Orc victory. I've got more of them. I don't think they expect you to cheat and put a stomper on the board instead of 3 boys. Yeah, but if you can, you can. So that's issue 52 gone through. Apart from me actually fully painting the model. I do have some of the paints here, but I've just realised the time. I've got to go to the gym soon. This is why I walked through the paint section earlier. But the last bit, what do we get next week? Next week we get an absolute pain in the ass. Wow. Cool, Hawk. So you just got your first ever 40k army. Who did you go for? I'll derail the stream. Fuck that. Who did you get? This is how easy I am to distract. Who did you go for? Come on. Space Marines. Imperial Guard. Astra Militarum. Maybe you want to call them that. Khorne. Eldar. Orcs. Tyranids. Votan. Who did you go for? I can get excited over anybody else's army and not just my own. I mean, I do have 6 of the fuckers. In some case, a little bit overkill on them, but cool, you've gone for the Leviathan Tyranids. Oh, Tyranids are awesome. Where's my Tyranid box? No, I'm not going to get my Tyranid box out, even though I do need to fix a model. I'll fix that after I've told this bit. 3 and 54, which is going to be a 2 weeks now. We're going to get the first part of it in 53, the second part in 54, and we're getting Hearthkin Warriors. A quick paint update in 53 on how to paint the Hearthkin Warriors, and then he's going to tell us about Ancestor Cores. In issue 54, we learn about walkers and battlesuits, and a campaign. Oh, we're going to get a campaign. I have my own Hive Fleet. I do like the customization for... Yeah, I can make my own crap up. So, 10 Hearthkin Warriors. He looks like he's got a fucking big gun. He's got a very nice sword. But that'll be next week and the week after. I don't have enough time to paint the Kahl today. So, as I said, that will happen on one of the models I'm using probably around about November. Because I'm doing World Eaters at the moment, and obviously next month is October. So that's when I'll be doing Orcs. But I do have a repair to make. So, while we're on the topic of Tyranids, I'm going to put the wing back on my Wing Prime. Not my Wing Prime, my Winged Hive Tyrant. Which is a kit bashed one to a degree. Because I built the proper Hive Tyrant out of the kit and then bits that were left to make this guy. Along with some Norn bits. And then a bit of the oh, what is it called again? Oh, the Neuro Tyrant. That's it. So if you've got a Leviathan box set there, Hawks, then you will have a Neuro Tyrant. I've chopped one of mine up to make this guy. It insists most of these more. See, it's not like that. They don't do that, Francois. They're all religious and celibate. This the name of the box, but the color scheme has been chosen to be that Hive Fleet. So, if you paint it as box art, then you are using the Hive Fleet Leviathan colors. but there are lots of different hive fleets. In the case of mine, it is Hive Fleet Lazarus. And I've just got to wait for it to show up. Yeah, it's the newest version of the Tyranids. So nice new colour scheme. So you've not got Bahama or Behemoth or Kraken. Lots of different hive fleets that they've had. Oh, it really doesn't want to stay this, does it? All I want is this to stay. No worries, Steve. Welcome back, man. I've finished the magazine. And Hawk has just reminded me, or Hawks, should I say, has just reminded me that I need to repair one of my Tyranids. Means trying to glue this wing back on and hold it in place. Because I'm not going to get a chance to paint the Kahl. Because I've got to go to the gym in about half an hour. Well, possibly closer to an hour. But it'll take me that long to paint the Kahl. Might take me this long to fucking hold the wing in place. Because he's really not having fun with it. And my stomach is complaining that I've not put anything but coffee in it. Why are you not working? Don't make me super glue you, you fucker. I gouged out that nice big section there for you. Get your glue. Come sticky. That goes in the hole. Or the divot at least. Oh. You're debating selling your Dark Angel army. You have like loads of Ravenwing. Loads of Deathwing, loads of Greenwing. You have pretty much the fucking chapter. Well, funnily enough, Hawks, apart from black and ivory, I've only used 3 colours. I've only used 3 colours. I used Army Painter Zealot Yellow, Army Painter Hive Purple, and Orc Skin. Again, Army Painter Speed Paints. And what I did, I basically slab chopped it. Just painting it black, dry brushing it with the ivory, go over it with the speed paints in the areas that you want, and then back over it with the ivory again. And that's got this effect. It does vary slightly from model to model, depending on how well the speed paint is cured. I'm gonna have to pin this fucking wing, aren't I? Oh, you bastard. It did stick at one point. It was in place. I did get it so it was working. Right. Well, then I put it in the box. Wind came off. Well, what I shall do... I do have unpainted models at the moment. I have 3 psychophages, and only one of them. Oh, sorry, 2 of them are painted. So, I do have a psychophage to paint, along with a load of gaunts. Some von Ryan's Leapers. I know I've painted a lot of them in the past. I think you're going to be right there, Steve. I'm going to have to pin it. Now, I've got this effect because I chose the army pay at 1.0. 2.0 will not have the same effect. Because 1.0 had an issue. And that issue was, if it wasn't cured correctly, then kind of had to be reactivated, shall we say. So when you went back over it with the ivory, it kind of took up a bit of the colour underneath. I can't find my fucking drill either. Nope. There goes any plan I had for that. I'm going to have to find my Dremel. And I don't know where it is. But yeah, I do have unpainted versions. And there's Hive Dweller Purple, Zealot Yellow, which means the green's around here somewhere. Or I would hope. But yes, I do have plenty of videos of me painting Tyranids, including quite recently when I did this model. So yes, you have voted. It is going to happen. I'm going to have to pin this motherfucker back together. But not now, because now I've got to go get ready to go to the gym. Thank you everybody for joining today. And Hawks, thank you for subscribing as well. And I look forward to seeing you on future streams. Chernobog, sorry. And hopefully I'll see you again as well. Francois, thank you for coming in and being you. I've got the cat meowing in the background now because it is now time for feeding. And I've got to find a Dremel. And then hopefully pin his wing back up. But Hawks, if you do have a look back over the channel, problem is I do only live streams. There is the one where I actually make these and do this conversion as well. Although now he's limping with his odd wing. What's making that? That needs sanding down. Just so he sits flat. Instead of rocking. Alright. Enough waffling shite. Which is pretty much all I do. Anyway. Yes, kitty, I'm coming to feed you. I'm coming to feed you. I can eat you. Again, thank you for everyone coming to join me. Please drive safe. And enjoy the rest of your day. I will see anyone who comes to see me tomorrow night for the magical world of Sparkles and Oak. If not, then it's Monday next week. And Wednesday next week, we know we'll carry on with Combat Patrol on Wednesday. But until then, yeah, have a good day. Enjoy yourselves.